How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Rising Oblivion, and guys, we are only 1 month away from seeing the release of Persona 5 Strikers, so I wanted to talk a little bit about it. And well, technically the game is less than a month away if you bought the deluxe edition of Persona 5 Strikers, so technically you have less than a month to go, but the actual official release date of the game is going to be February 23rd, which is when it is actually coming out. So we are only 1 month away from this, guys, and there's been so much negativity and bad things happening in 2021. We thought this was going to be different than 2020, but there's still a lot of good things coming from this year. We have SMT5 potentially down the pipeline, SMT3, and it's the 25th anniversary of Persona, so not all things are bleak, not all things are bad, guys, but let's keep the hype, let's keep the positivity of Persona 5 Strikers coming, man, because I am so ready for this game and I am super hyped about it. But let's talk a little bit about what Persona 5 Strikers is, man. It is the full-on sequel to the Persona 5 story. Yes, I know a lot of people are asking, where is Kasumi at? It doesn't make sense. Where is she? Who's these new characters? Well, just settle down a little bit and we're going to talk about this a little bit. So Kasumi is actually out on a gymnastics trip. If you play Persona 5 Royal, you will know through her confidant, and if you do all of her stuff, she's actually preparing for a gymnastics trip that she has to take. It explains why she is gone and she's not in Strikers. She's not in Shibuya, guys. She went off to do her gymnastics trip. She's doing all of her stuff. Her whole confidant is all about that and helping her with her gymnastics, preparing her for this event that she is going to have. It explains as to why she is not there. But let's talk about the other characters in as well. This is in the future. It's further than what we have seen the characters ever be. I mean, the animation doesn't show more of the future or anything like that. This is the most that we have in terms of the whole Phantom Thieves group and all the characters within Persona 5. This is the furthest that we see with them, in the timeline. Makoto and Haru, specifically in this game, talk about how they are going to college. There's different outfits they're wearing. They're doing different things. They all have different hobbies and they're doing different stuff. It's not just Yusuke who's in college now. We have Makoto and Haru both who are in their first year of college. So I guess that makes Yusuke technically in like his second year or something like that. He's in a different school, so we don't quite know, I think, exactly where he's falling, but we know that we now have some characters doing some different things within the series. Things are changing, and we see that clearly in some of the gameplay and some of the stuff that we have seen in promotional materials and things along that. The Thieves are taking a break basically once the end of Persona 5 Royal happens, but it's kind of hard to see that happening with what the ending of Persona 5 Royal does and the regular ending of Persona 5. The thing is, Persona 5 Royal and Strikers at the same time were being developed. So there's some overlapping stuff that they couldn't quite do, which might explain why Kasumi is not actually in this game and how they basically needed to write her off so she couldn't be in this game. That is one possibility, or they just flat out didn't want to have her in the game, just in general. And the ending of Royal does kind of link to what's happening in Strikers in some ways, but some ways not so much. So yes, this is technically a sequel to the story, but you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and assume that this does happen, but the ending of Royal technically still is more definitive in terms of what is actually happening with the stories. We're getting, all these characters back and whatnot, but it doesn't mean that there is nothing, happening here. There is still stuff from Royal that does matter to the continuation of the story here with Strikers. But let's move on over to some of the new stuff we're seeing in this game. So the Thieves are back and they're doing a brand new sort of idol palace with this new character called Alice, which I think overall her design looks cool, and her sort of monster shadow design also looks good as well. There's a deep parallel and I think it makes sense. She's called Alice. We're going down rabbit holes into new places within the metaverse. I think it fits super well within Persona 5 Strikers, just the team in general, going to a brand new sort of place, kind of underground. It seems like Mementos in a lot of ways is kind of like going down a rabbit hole, so the characters in a lot of ways are going to brand new dimensions and new worlds going through a rabbit hole, so it really makes sense for this to be something that they would do. And this is basically the big comeback. This is round 2, baby. The Phantom Thieves are coming back on their brand new adventure through a brand new palace. Technically, they are a little bit rusty here. This isn't a super long time after Royal, I guess you could say, but there has been a couple months since they actually haven't been doing a whole lot of stuff as the Phantom Thieves. There has been a pretty good gap in time here. like 3 or 4 months, I think, to be exact, if we are talking about that. But palaces and stuff like that aren't showing up that much after Royal, and in Royal it kind of talks about how there wouldn't be any left, but we do see them back again. Of course, there wouldn't be really much of a game here if there was no reason for them to be fighting, no reason for them to be back in their Phantom Thief suits, and, you know, just defeating palaces like they've always kind of done. But there's some continuity areas, I guess you could say, but they want to have this be a spin-off, so once I said again, picking out whether or not you see this as full canon is kind of up to you, but this is supposed to be the definitive sequel. And Sophia is now the new character that we have here, which, if you have not heard Sophia's voice, I think it is one of the best. I think they picked a very good, you know, voice actor to do Sophia's voice. It sounds nice. She is kind of like a robot, technically. She is found by the characters. And I'm not going to get super far into spoilers so far because the game's fresh, and I've been trying to make myself go into this without having any sort of spoilers as well. I know a lot of you out there probably are thinking about that too. You don't want to have a bunch of spoilers, but this video, I guess, was kind of just to go over a couple things, talking about, you know, the hype, keeping it sort of there, keeping the, you know, let's not be all doom and gloom for 2021 as well. There's a lot of good stuff still happening, a lot of cool games still coming out, a whole lot of stuff to experience. So Persona 5 Strikers is going to be a good one as well. I'll be streaming it here on the channel in case you want to, you know, see that potentially. Like I said, though, it's going to be a good year. Don't keep it all so doom and gloom. Strikers is going to be good. The characters seem nice, and man, overall, Sophia honestly is just a really, really cute character. She's an AI that the group finds, and sort of, she's supposed to be the, I guess, you know, companion to humanity is what she calls herself. She is there on purpose, and I think it's similar to more of a Morgana type situation where there's something created to try and help the Phantom Thieves out when it comes to their mission on what they're supposed to do. So there's a very good chance that Sophia is linked to this new Alice character with her palace. There's a good chance that this is what we are going to be seeing, and the ties within, you know, Alice and Sophia, why Sophia was brought here, why Alice is here in general. She's in Shibuya doing a new opening for like sort of idol stuff, and of course, if you're big and you have an ego, there's a good chance you have a palace, and the Phantom Thieves are going to be there to help, you know, try and bring your big ego down. There's got to be something this Alice character is doing wrong for her to even have a palace in the first place, and having the, you know, companion, the humanity's companion, have to come help the Phantom Thieves out. It just honestly sounds like a really cool idea, and I really like to see this, and I like seeing the characters growing up a little bit, and having the brand new clothes is really nice. It does look updated. However, a lot of the text in this game, and here comes the part of the video where I gotta explain some of the bad stuff. Some of the stuff does look great. You know, at the top left, you can see there's Shibuya. It says Wednesdays at noon. There's some stuff there, and we have the top and middle where it shows a little, you know, cutout of basically like, you know, the alarm of the percentage of how much you're sort of alarming people within the palace. I don't think that's what this is. It's something different, but you get the cutout there of Alice, her shadow Alice form. But a lot of that stuff does look nice, and the little star on the noon turning and stuff like that, showing how time is progressing. That's really cool stuff, and I like to see that. But however, the text, you can see, look, it says brunette young man. It doesn't have the same sort of text where there's like certain blocks and things like that where there are different colors. It looks sort of bland at sometimes. It could tell it's just kind of generic text. This was not done by Atlas specifically. This was done by somebody else. The Warrior Games is who made these games, who made Strikers. Same thing with the One Piece game. It's not done directly by Atlas, so this is a different company trying to do this type of stuff that are making the font. The characters sort of have that black etched outline. I'm sure you can see this. This is PC gameplay, so trust me, this is the best looking gameplay you're going to have. So this is kind of the bad segment where we're going to talk about this kind of stuff, and you can see the text, the black outlines, and not only that, these are not the Persona 5 royal sprites that you see when they are talking. Look at this background here. Now look at Ann specifically, like her hair and her face and stuff. Yeah, that looks kind of bad, man. It's kind of drawn out and you can see it. This is because on the PC it's very drawn up and upscaled. Upscaling means it's not exactly fitting the dimensions that it was intentionally meant for, which was the PlayStation. Intentionally, this game was created for the PlayStation. It is on Switch and it is on PC. However, it will look and run a little bit differently. Less frames on the Switch, and on the PC, you unfortunately are also capped at 60 frames, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense as to why they decided to cap this game at 60 frames. Now, there's a good chance we'll see some patches, some updates later on, allowing you to uncap it. Maybe they're just trying to test a couple different things out. And hey, the game is still a month away. We do not know for sure whether or not they will uncap it at that time. There's a good chance that even just some recordings currently are just capped at 60 frames because they don't have, you know, the possibility to quite do that yet. Maybe they're doing some final touches on the PC version of the game, so we don't know that for sure. We just are really going to have to see later on, whenever we get the game, if it will eventually have some updates for the PC version, or if the game will just come and allow us to already have that on the PC version. But those are just a couple of gripes that I have so far. I'm sure the game will still play pretty well, and just know basically what you're getting for each type of thing. Obviously, we all know Switch is going to have a little bit of a lower frame rate. PC should technically run it better, but upscaling issues, we've seen that on Persona 4 Golden, where certain backgrounds didn't quite look right because you're upscaling something that maybe you weren't supposed to be able to see so up close, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people are also going to try and run this thing in 4K, but for some reason it's stuck at 60 frames, which is such a weird thing that they are doing that. But like I said, hopefully they try to uncap it later. And I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know how hyped you are for Persona 5 Strikers down in the comment section below. What version of the game did you guys grab? Did you grab the deluxe edition to get a couple days early? Did you try and snag that steelbook, if you know what I'm saying? The steelbook collectors out there. This Sojiro actually looks very bad, but I just want to... I can't get over it sometimes, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.